This comic is as smart as she is funny. The last time I saw her, my mask flew off from laughing so hard. Welcome, Sabrina Robinson. From your own description on social media, you say, I'm not a queen and barely a princess, but clearly there's something special going on.
Oh, thanks. I need this self-esteem booster. I think I have terrible self-esteem. I don't really know why, but that's a black woman thing nowadays. A black woman and a white man, a white gay man. Either ones can be queens.
But yeah, like most basic bitches, I have a lot of gay guy friends, which is always fun. You know, I love hanging out with a gaggle of gays. They really lift my spirits. You know, they're so much fun. And they're really supportive friends. They make me feel empowered, make me feel beautiful. Because nothing makes me prouder to be a strong black woman than seeing a gay white man be a strong black woman. I love it.
I know you grew up as an only child. Do you think that led to your success or creativity?
Ooh, good question. I think so, because I think I just was able to spend a lot of time with myself, kind of figuring out who I am in some ways, and like what I enjoy, and like talking to myself, like especially now that I've got more into comedy, like I feel like I keep myself practicing because I'm like saying the jokes to myself. And I feel like only children are very good at just talking to themselves.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's something that I think has helped. But also maybe if I had a sibling, you know, maybe I would have performed more in front of another person and like got practice that way. But at the end of the day, I am happy being an only child. I don't want any siblings.
Were you just that precocious kid cracking jokes for your parents all the time?
Probably. I probably was the most annoying child. That's why when I think about having kids, I'm like, oh, but they'll just talk all day. And I think that was me. Thank God for my parents. They just like stuck through it. But yeah, I think I talked a lot, and I was just, I was like a little musical theater kid too, so I was like weird in that way.
That's funny.
I am so pissed, everybody. Tell you a little secret. I like white guys. It sucks, I know, but it's true. And then I like the white guys, and they like the clavicles. So that's why my ass is up in the gym trying to get my clavicle to pop, so I can get Jaws to pay some fucking attention to me in the hallway. I wish I liked black guys. If I could change it, I would. It'd be a lot easier for me. But no, I'm up in the gym. I go to this crazy place in New York. And it's just hilarious, these group exercise places, because it's like a room full of narcissists, just in like a room lined with mirrors, with some buff, sassy gay man that's definitely a power bottom, yelling at you, so go, 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 while Beyonce Grande music is just blasting in the background. You're just like, I just want to be pretty. I just want to be pretty.
You know, I caught one of your sets, and in it you said, I like making jokes about race. Why is that so important, especially now?
I think it's important to me, honestly, because it's just who I am. When I'm writing my jokes, sometimes I do look at the sets. I'm like, I don't want it to sound like it's all about race. It just does happen to be a big part of who I am. Sometimes that's the funny things that like set me apart from other comics, because just simply demographics of like comedy, it does just tend to be more white men. People aren't making those types of jokes. So it's just when you get up there and you do your set, it's something different and unique, and then also happens to be kind of funny. So that's why I feel like a majority of my jokes do tend to be more based off race. Not even like comparing the races, but just sometimes of being black and like growing up in a very white neighborhood and then transitioning to like being a black person today, you know, where there's a lot more equality, but there's still a lot of issues. And I think the jokes kind of break down the barrier and like tell people more about what it is like to be a black person and dealing with being in the world. It's interesting and I guess important from that perspective.
It's kind of like the time when I went camping with my work buddies, and I took an axe and I started chopping wood, and they're like, what? Jews are handy? I'm like, yes, I could be handy. Plus I checked. The hospital's only a mile away.
Just in case. You'd be like, Jesus was a carpenter. We can do these things. You know?
Oh, that's really funny, actually. Yes. Recently, you told the joke about the A word being articulate, and your punchline was amazing. You said, I'd better be articulate with all the money my parents spent on private school, which is brilliant.
Thank you.
What strikes me about you most is your consistency. Do you have a structure or something that you go through that enables you to be that consistent?
You're very sweet, actually, because I was just thinking to myself, I was just whiteboarding, like, I need a structure, I need a routine. I feel like I'm actually flailing sometimes. So it's nice to hear someone think I'm consistent. But what I do try to do is social media is like really big nowadays. Like I personally am not a social media person, but I just realized that it's at least a good way to practice or like test out new jokes and just like keep up on things. So posting, I honestly joined Twitter like a few months ago. Like I'm so late, but I was like, I need to get Twitter. I need to practice jokes. That's been helping me just like keep the muscles, I guess, moving. It's a small community, so people see posts and they're like, hey, you know, we're doing this. You want like this spot? And I'm like, sure. I just need to keep getting out there.
White men. White men. They love a bony bitch, don't they? Why? It's not cool. White men love cheekbones, hip bones, clavicles. Clavicle? I don't understand. Black men are trying to fuck, not play Operation.
Do you ever adapt your material to a specific crowd, or do you just let it fly?
For the most part, I think I am a let it fly person because I try to be structured, but maybe this happens to every comedian, but you get up there and you start talking and like you always go off the path, I think. But in general, I do try to adjust it. I think my jokes naturally are funny to like, maybe not to make it about race, but just for statistics, probably more like white people. Part of my jokes, like I don't say the N-word. I'm not like what they would expect when they see a black comic. The hair helps now because I do look against blacker, but they're still like, oh, she's not talking about certain things I would expect. But I do change it for certain crowds. And I'm actually doing like a Black History Month set for my old company, LinkedIn, actually. They're doing this like Zoom comedy event. And I'm like kind of writing out jokes now or selecting the ones that are like Black people may be more interested in. I try to think of that sometimes to make sure it makes the most sense for the audience and not just me rambling.
Yeah, sometimes you think of a joke, it's like you say, oh, is that funny just to me? Or is that funny to everyone else? Yeah. And then you try it out and then, you know, they laugh or they don't laugh.
Yep. Then that's the best thing about comedy. You know in the moment, like if it worked or not. It's
so true.
Instant feedback. Brutal, but instant.
We both have jokes about challah, the traditional Jewish bread that's served on the Sabbath. Okay, here's my joke. My last name is Yudowitz, which literally means son of a Jew. And so the next time you see me strolling down the avenue, challah at your boy. That's my joke. I'm going to do something right now that you should never do to a comic. Never. I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to tell your challah joke.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm very pro-Semitic because I'm from North Jersey suburbs. So I grew up surrounded by the chosen people. And it all started when I went to like my first bat mitzvah and I tasted
That's funny.
challah bread. And I remember sitting there tasting and thinking, have skinheads not tried this yet? Like, I feel like if they tried challah bread, they totally changed their attitude. Be like, we were wrong. And then I do this little bit with like, they're at an Aryan Brotherhood meeting maybe, and they're like trying the challah bread French toast, and they're like, goddamn, Billy Bob, this here's some good shit. We were wrong about them there Jews.
Oh, I love that joke. Your joke's
and that's
better
how I
than mine.
basically think, you know, the world will come together. Like, world peace.
I'm very single, which I know I should be proud and like, yeah, single. I don't know. I'd rather be in a relationship because honestly, I could commit to one dick for the rest of my life right now. It's tiring dating. I'm exhausted. I live in Manhattan. Your bitches, girl's tired. I'm fucking tired with all those men. Really, I'm ready to commit to one dick. I like to think of my vagina as a Birkenstock sandal. You know, remember those? After you wear them a while, they just start to mold to your feet. I'm a stage 5 clinger, is what I'm trying to say.